Hello, everybody. Let us know if you can hear us okay. I have very little control over the audio right now because we're in a car. And we will be in the car the entire entirety of the live. So let us know if you can hear us, just so I can check. Okay. It also looks. Oops, that was really loud. Give me a second. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I hope you guys can hear us. But hi, Dark Lord Menet, and it all adds up. Because I am on a mobile hub and I don't know. Can anybody hear us? Hello?
I can hear you. Hello, everybody.
Okay,
how y'all doing?
Sorry,
we can hear you.
Really bad Wi-Fi, so I think
You're
because we are in a car.
yeah.
Also,
your
what
service
time
is
zone? Is this still the
spotty.
correct time?
Yeah, we're
Central?
yeah.
5:15.
Is this still the correct time zone though?
Yes, it's correct.
Okay. Awesome. I don't know. I hope the internet's fine. It's really bad right now.
Hello.
But I brought everybody up, and I think we're just gonna try to go like that. Hi.
Good. Okay.
Hey,
And
Lori.
everybody in the chat. Hi.
Lori might be down. She's probably still waiting for a few minutes yet.
Okay. Hello, Miss Ann. How you doing?
I'm good, Jesse and Lisa. Both. Lisa, what a pretty top you have on tonight. So, girls, we're on an adventure tonight. Where are you? Oh,
Hold on.
well,
Can I need to ask if it's okay. Dad, is it okay if we say where we are?
In the car.
We are in Tennessee.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we went to go and visit our visit some families.
Visit some family. That's wonderful.
We just got back in the car, so we still have 7.5 hours to go, but we're leaving Tennessee now.
Oh, okay.
Well, this should be an interesting night.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever you travel, it just seems like the internet goes up and down, or your service goes up and down, depending on where you're at on the road. Right?
Right. It might be that, yeah.
You're gonna dip. You're gonna dip out.
Hello.
And dip back in. Hey, Charles.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
But yeah, that's why I've tried to have everyone up early just in case something happens.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. That's wonderful. Let's see. Jesse, you want to switch Charles and I around so that I'm down there with my other cheerleaders?
Yes. Sorry. That didn't work.
That didn't work.
There we go.
Yay!
Okay, this should
Please stop
be fun.
touching. Yes, it should. I have Heather in the basement. Should we just? Yeah, I'm gonna bring her up now in case I lose connection. But we don't have to start right away.
Oh, hi, everybody.
Hello. I love your hair.
See everyone. Wow.
Don't you look pretty tonight?
Thank you. You've got some little thingies going on there, Ann.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
We're the cheerleaders, Lori and I.
Yeah. Nice to see everybody. Hello, everybody in chat.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. Now, girls, yeah, okay. Would you like for us to be the ones saying hello to people in the chat? Or can you
Yeah, I can read the chat. I don't want to highlight it just because if I do too much, it might kick me out. I'm just trying to be careful. But yes, the live just started.
Well, that would be wonderful. Jesse, you want to say hello to some people, and then Charles can say hello to some people, and Lori and Heather and me.
Hello, all the people.
Let me just say hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
That covers everybody. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Thank y'all for coming in to Survival Seas 2025.
That's
And,
right.
And as you can tell, one set of us are on the road, and the rest of us are planted. Okay, no pun, pardon the pun, planted. But we hope that, in fact, they're froze up right now.
They are.
There you go. They come back.
Ta-da.
gonna be-
Yeah, so they're on the road right now.
We just got on
I'm
the
glad
intersection.
everybody- Right. So, hello everybody. Like I said, Dark Lord Minutes in the house. We got Gail Southern Living. Obviously, she's always here. And then we got Joe Fix It For You. Hey Joe, how y'all doing? And then we got Pat Evans. Carol over at Broke But Bountifully Blessed is here. Hello. Yeah, it all adds up with Lori. Yeah, it all adds up. And then we got, let's see.
Yeah, it's
Let's
the same
see.
ones at the
Same-
beginning. It was
let's see.
all the same ones.
Yeah.
Go
Oh,
back
Jen's
and-
Hobby Nook. Jen's Hobby Nook's in the house. Yeah.
Mike's got a gardening, Nanny Tam.
Troy's
Resource Living.
Off Creek
Kathy?
World.
and look
Brian.
at what Lynette Lawrence did for the girls. Look at there.
Uh,
Can you see Lynette Lawrence in the,
yes.
in the
Yes.
green?
Well, we were going to get to that. We got Terry Crafty 333.
Oh, I'm
Thank you
sorry.
for that awesome donation there. Donated there. Thank you, Terry.
I think
for
that was from
Yeah.
last week. But thank you so much.
What was it?
Good to see the pun. The pun?
This is a reusable studio.
Oh, you're using the reusable. Okay.
So
Okay.
999
Yeah.
was Lynette today.
Okay.
There's a few things that
But
Well,
thank you,
I'd
everyone
like
who gave
to
super
thank-
chats last week. We really appreciate you.
I'd like to thank you.
That's a lot.
for the things you do
And then
for
Be
me.
Charming's in the house. Be Charming, little Be Charming. And that's the resourceful.
Yes.
Oh, look,
Friday.
look. Ann Dale's in the house. Ann Dale's in there. She says, hey, y'all.
Hey y'all.
And then
PSV Odyssey.
PSV Odyssey. Yes, PSV.
Christine, Mrs. Gillum.
Hello.
Jerry.
The Daredevil.
Bubble Bibble.
You're seeing some people that I'm not seeing, but that's okay. That's good. That's great.
Well, yeah, she's following the chat.
Oh,
Bubble,
good.
is it Bibble? Bubble Bibble?
Bubble Bibble.
Double Bubble. It's double bubbles in the house.
I like
And
that.
there's
Charming.
Jay 0428. Good to see
Yep.
you.
And you got old Bob, the topless gardener, Robin Hood Homestead,
Yep.
What about Bob?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Grace NYC. Yep. You said Nanny Tim, right? Nanny Tim. So I think everybody's. Ginger, can't forget Ginger, not for nothing. And
That's
she is
right.
in here. She is in here, so she is for something.
Broke but
Yep.
beautifully, bountifully
Beautifully.
blessed, Carol.
Sifting some soil and
Thank you guys
work.
all so much for being here.
Yes, Mike's chaotic gardening.
Woohoo! Hey,
Oh,
Mike.
him, he's in here, Mike. Yeah.
Lots of great.
That's awesome.
Joe. Hello.
Oh, Liz and Peter. Don't forget, Liz and Peter came back. They're actually still alive and well and
Old parts.
active
Yeah.
in old parts. Old parts.
Isn't
Yeah.
that
Speaking
one of
of,
the best things on YouTube.
sorry. Speaking of Liz and Peter, I haven't done any shipping this week because we're out of state. But when we get home, I'm going to work on that. So the Hori Hori knife, I can't ship to Canada. So I'm going to be doing a gift card. So sorry about forgetting that, Liz.
So we got the Wild Man in the house. Wild Man, Ark Wild Man Survival.
Oh, fun. Hey, Resourceful Living Homestead. Hey, sweetie. I love her garden. Oh,
Yeah.
my gosh.
So, girls, tonight is
It's Rory.
our guest is Heather from Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, who happens to hail from Oregon, the state of the great state of Oregon, over on the Pacific
Awesome.
Northwest. So, if you guys want to start interviewing, you can start interviewing now and see what
Wait,
happens.
Jesse. Wait. What
We
about
haven't done the
show
video.
notes? What's the channel?
Oh, you want to do the channel updates first? Okay. Well, I was just considering in case we lost them.
Hold on.
But that's okay. If y'all want to do the channel, let's go ahead.
Yeah, forward notice for that though.
Hard time, Jesse.
We didn't do the videos for the northern states this week. We are out of state. We were visiting our grandparents. And we didn't get to sleep until like 3:30 a.m. last night, so we did nothing.
Yahoo!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Wel-
that's certainly a lot.
Welcome to the Lazy Club.
So
Well, I have
Heather,
a couple of updates up here in Canada.
ahead.
Lori, wonderful Lori, up there in the northern part of British Columbia, off grid. What is it? Off Grid World is the name of her
Off Grid
channel.
World.
And she had an update. She's almost ready to plant outside. She's not quite. She's up north, so she has to wait till June. But everything's ready to go, and yeah, that's all I'm going to tell you about that. And then Liz and Peter, the old parts, also had an update, and their garden is coming along. Well, I'm not going to give you details, but some of his herbs are doing wonderfully, and some of them are still pretty minuscule, but they're there and they're living, and his tomatoes and peppers are doing great, and that's all I'm going to tell you about that. You can go check them out on the old parts.
Yay!
Awesome.
And Lori, you did a video as
Yes,
well.
I did. Yes,
And
I
that-
did.
I
My
took a-
garden is also growing, and I got most of my transplants planted. My peppers are in the ground. My pumpkins are in the ground, although one of them did die.
No.
A moment of silence.
By the way, your shirt
Mine
is
too.
great.
Oh. I tried to say-
Lid needs.
I like it.
That's funny.
Very apropos. But yeah, so we did updates up here. We're growing in the southern part of British Columbia and on the island. We've got stuff in the ground, and yeah, not even worrying about it anymore. No more frost. Yay!
Right. So
So-
do you guys
so
have
what-
a short growing season then as well, or does it extend further into the fall, what we call fall?
Well, we can grow until, like, our first frost date is usually the middle of October.
Okay. So that's
So
it's kind of a little bit
it
shorter.
is fairly short, but we don't often get here on the island. We often don't get our first frost until the beginning of December. So
Okay.
although our frost date is in October, I always actually wait until the frost actually comes before I pull my frost-sensitive plants, because I don't
Right.
bother to pull them early, even though they say it's going to be my frost date. I wait until they've actually been hit by frost and they're done, right? And then I'll pull them.
So Lori, having said that, you're going to be following Heather's frost date from here pretty soon.
Right. Well, when we moved
Yeah.
to Oregon, Newport is a 9A. So we're going from an 8B to a 9A. So it's not going to be a
Whoa.
huge change.
Yeah.
Big
But it
adjustment.
will be a little bit of a change and a longer growing season, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice growing season here in Oregon. Well, I guess it depends what part of Oregon.
Right.
You know.
Well,
Well, she'll
I
be on
know
the
on the coast it rarely gets cold enough to freeze.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I lived there for like 10 years, and I think I saw snow twice, maybe 3 times.
Wow.
When I
in
was
that 10
young,
years.
That's insane.
we lived in Rockaway, Oregon, which is a
Okay.
coast, and
Yeah.
there was snow one year,
Yeah.
but that's not common, you know.
No, it's very uncommon. Usually
Thank you
the
all for
temperature
your-
ranges from 60 to 70.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
on the coast. On
Right.
the coast. So you don't get really too cold and you don't get too hot. So
Yeah.
So since you are going to be on the coast, Lori, will you be expanding your repertoire of vegetables? Will you be growing cranberries? Because Oregon is very good for cranberries.
oh, interesting. I hadn't thought about growing cranberries because I'm not a super huge cranberry fan, but I don't really know what's going to go on in the garden right now. I know they haven't gardened there for years.
Ooh, fresh
So, like,
soil.
yeah, like
Right.
it's not. I don't even know when Mom lived there, she and her husband were into the whole natural look, so they just let everything grow wild.
Oh.
And so there's going to be
Oh,
some trimming to do here and there. And I know there's no garden
right.
bed at all. There's no place where there is a garden or has been a garden. So
Well,
whether
that's
I go in ground or I'll
They call
probably
that
go raised again.
virgin territory.
Virgin territory, yeah,
Yeah.
lots of virgin territory. So the
Yeah.
first year I'll probably just be watching sun patterns. Because we're
Sure.
not going to get there until
Yeah.
June, so it'll be too late really to plant
Right.
anything. But I can watch and see where I'm going to get the sun for the following year, and then place my
Right.
beds accordingly.
So
Very
we have
smart.
a girl dad cooking up deliciousness. This is a new one for me. I've never
Hello.
seen this.
Yes, girl
Welcome
dad is
in.
awesome.
yeah,
Yep,
Welcome
girl
in.
dad is great.
some
Welcome
good
in, girl
recipes
dad.
over there.
We're so glad to
And
have
and
you.
we got Palmetto paratrooper. Palmetto.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Palmetto. Welcome, welcome.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's go for the southern region. We have quite a few
Absolutely.
updates there. And then afterwards, if you don't mind, I can at least mention all of the northern region as well. And that way we can just kind of go down the list and everybody will get a good mention. So, Heather,
Absolutely.
thank you
That'd be
for
great.
being there with us with Milk and Honey Heritage Farm. We appreciate you sticking in there with us through our cheerleading days. So, Gail from Gail's Southern Living is such a trooper. She has her garden Thursday, which is always fun. Lots of veggies and herbs that are growing. She has her onions and her beans and her pumpkins and her wonder peppers and her beets, and her corn is growing in grow bags. She hadn't gotten any ears yet, but we're going to see. She's got some silk up there, and that's wonderful. And it's growing tomatoes and basil and hyssop and lemon balm and oregano, just all kinds of things in a wonderful way. She put out a couple of shorts, some sugar pie pumpkins, and then some early cow wonder peppers. So check out Gail's Southern Living. Also, hanging out in Angel's Garden. She is such a hoot. I'm crazy about that woman. She's in California, and she finds the best deals that you'd ever want to find. She's a deal finder, and she found these umbrellas from the Dollar Tree that work great for shade for your crops and things. She grows in a real small little area, but she is a deal finder. Her cucumbers are rocking. She's got some dragon fruit that she is protecting with those umbrellas. And she's allowing some of her plants to bolt because she in California is already able to gather some seeds. And
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome. Hey, Jen's Hobby Nook, we're glad you're here. So we want for all of us to say hello to Boo Boo. Boo Boo is her COO, her kitty cat that's always in every one of her videos. Then we have resourceful living. Resourceful living. That woman puts the Land of Plenty to shame, even though I think Land of Plenty is an absolutely gorgeous garden that I have here in Edenton, North Carolina. But she is, I see all your work that you're doing, honey. I see it all. It is amazing and beautiful. She has a greenhouse that is pristine. I mean, good gracious, she could eat off the floor in that thing. And she's got her tomatoes going in there, her Roma tomatoes. She's got, she planted Romas, but some,
I still say they're not Romas.
yeah, they're growing a little funny because they don't
Yeah.
really look like Romas. They're kind of a little fat instead of
Yeah.
oblong. So,
Yeah, the leaves
I
are
can't remember.
different.
Huh.
Yeah, I looked at, there was another video where somebody was saying, I planted Romas, but this is a different, looked like a beefsteak or something.
yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
Somebody
see.
else had a different, was it Cassie?
Instead of
Maybe it
the
was Kathy.
pepper, instead of the pepper scandal, we'll have the
Right.
tomato scandal this year.
Yeah.
All the seeds were switched up.
Yeah.
But anyway, that
Right.
was fun. Go and check out Resourceful Living. She also did a sugar pie pumpkin because she was worried about those pumpkins on the top of her hill. Hey, Joe, Dark Lord. Yeah. Hey, Dark Lord minute. And she has blooms all over her sugar pie pumpkins, and we're tickled to death for her. So, resourceful living homestead. And she's already done a video for next week, too, y'all.
Yes, she has.
Sweet.
Mhm. Now, Dee's Garden Adventures with Deanna put out a short. She had her sugar pie pumpkin. Unfortunately, a vine boar got that bad boy in Alabama, and so she didn't have anything but
No.
yeah, that thing. It looks like it's got sawdust
Aw.
all over the end of it. But her short is very informative because she shows you what a vine boar worm looks like and what she thinks ate her
Oh,
plant.
yeah.
So went digging in the dirt trying to find the pupas and the babies and all that stuff. She hadn't found it yet, but she's working on protecting everything.
Whose channel
And
is
then
that?
Dean-
Oh, Deanna.
Deanna, yeah.
Okay.
Deanna from Dee's Garden Adventures, and she has a marrow growing, same packet of seeds. One was squash, and one came out this green thing that nobody knew what in the world it was. But it's marrow. So it seems to be the year of seed mixed up. It was very informative,
So I'm
Manny.
wondering if when
Dee's Garden
collecting the seeds?
Adventures with Deanna.
yeah, so when I think sometimes when people are collecting seeds, and I don't want to say the companies, but people, cross pollination is happening. So I think that's why you're getting random whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
we
Are
are
you-
getting a mix
Are you
up.
saying that we possibly might have some biracial seeds?
Some
maybe
mixed up
confused.
things.
Or somebody's playing a joke. Like,
Well, maybe we'll have a little of
Yeah,
this
you
and
never
a little of
know.
that. As long as it's food, who cares, right? As long as we
Yeah.
get some food.
Yeah.
And she shows us how she protects all her plants and how she sets things up. And she is showing you to use what you have to protect your crops. And that girl is very ingenious in using all kinds of things around her yard. Now, Charles, did you get a chance to see Not for Nothing with Ginger's
entry video.
side garden?
Yeah.
She said, I want Charles to have a video to be able to. Do you remember what she did?
A lot of her lemon balm is going crazy.
It is going crazy.
Yeah.
It is. And she is planting a side garden next to her chicken coop just for her chicken food of
Oh,
all
good
herbs
idea.
and things.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. But she said, poor Charles, it comes in here. Bushcraft family doesn't say a word the whole time except for hi and bye. Give him a chance to talk.
There you go, Charles.
There you go. You got to say a thing or two.
Hey, Charles is always looking for his 15 seconds of fame.
All right. So Not for Nothing Homestead did do. And then Lori's World, those walking onions were something else, girl. They
Right?
walk all over your yard, aren't they?
Yeah. I got
Right.
some of those babies.
I'm thrilled that you have blueberry. You might have some blueberries this year. That's pretty cool. Chamomile, flower, and cucumbers, and all kinds of things. And then y'all need to see what she puts in her strawberry bed to protect them, because
Yeah.
every time I see that thing, it makes me go, "What? Oh, okay."
It works wonders, I tell you.
It's a
I
real.
haven't had a bird peck in my strawberry bed for 2 years now.
That's awesome. So
Yeah.
you are just an amazing. You have such an oasis, and that's wonderful. And Charles, you did yourself a little video. What a giant grow bag you have! That
Right.
bag is huge.
Well, it was supposed to be 6 feet, but it's not 6 feet.
But I have a complaint. So I watched Charles' video, and that just proves to me I don't ever want to move to Ohio because there's snakes everywhere. There's snakes everywhere in Ohio.
Seriously?
You'll never see me there.
all over his
Whoa.
garden. Snakes.
They're all over
Which
his garden.
helped because some of my aromas got ate up already. But
No.
I had extras on my porch.
Yeah,
So
extra tomatoes, good.
That's a good thing.
hopefully they pull out of it.
And you had a bad windstorm that some of your plants took a beat.
Well, I had them all organized where I knew which plants were which. The windstorm knocked all my plants off my porch, and then they were all mixed up. So I have no idea what peppers are which.
Okay. Hey, you're gonna have a surprise party. I have a few surprise parties. What I do by now.
Tomatoes, I can tell by the leaves and the stems what they
Right.
are.
That's great.
It's harder with peppers, though.
So, Kayla, if you don't mind, I'm gonna just mention the ones of the north, if that's okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Honorable
great.
mention.
All
Honorable
right.
mention.
So, honorable mention to Robert Bates. He's got his things going on. Grace from New York City, NYC. Grace from NYC. Luffy's checking on her kidney beans growth and the hyssop also. Robin Hood Homestead. What about Bob? That is Bob
Bob.
from Robin Hood Homestead, the shirtless wonder. And he's talking about his raised beds and all the things and whether he's going to accept the filling of those raised beds. Then we have Off-Grid World. And let's see, Grace from New York City, NYC, put out a short, and the hyssop finally got transplanted. So that sounds fun. Then she put out, Grace has been hot on a trail this week. And let's see if I can get my mouse to work properly. And Grace said, I had to buy more of my 7th seed. Y'all come check out what my 7th seed is.
Ooh.
NYC. And then Grace had another one, arugula seeds.
Arugula.
And then another one, beaners. Oh my, trellis time. So that's great. And then let's see what else we have here. Lori talked about Liz and Peter, and then Off-Grid World, broke but beautiful. I'm sorry, Carol, I say your name wrong almost all the time. Broke but bountifully blessed, which is wonderful, and I can't say it right. Sorry, but hydroponic solution for her garden. If you go over there, Carol will teach you something, I can promise you. So those are the videos that we had this week from all over the world, and we appreciate you being here. So
Thank you guys so much.
yay!
Thank you.
Europe in a day.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Anne.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there was about 25 videos this week, which was really good.
It is
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we
That's
have
so cool, dude.
Yeah,
Get 'em.
it's pretty neat seeing how everybody does different things in different areas,
Yeah.
It's all a learning experience.
Well, what I like is too also that they're not afraid. People aren't afraid to show you and tell you what works or what's working for them. Like Dee's, she's gonna, if she sees some bug or some kind of insect, she's gonna let us know, guys. If you're seeing this, this is what you need to do to take care of it.
Right.
Carol from Broke Mountain. I mean, there's a whole bunch of them out there that aren't afraid to share, what they're seeing and what they're finding. Lisa found what was that bug? A moth?
It was a
moth.
caterpillar.
It was
in the other side.
right. It was a moth, probably about 2 inches long.
Well,
and,
it was before.
I mean, it was
moth,
but it was larva.
caterpillar, but it was like
Right.
that long.
Yeah.
Wow.
Was it big and green?
No,
Yeah, no, it
green.
wasn't a tomato hornworm. No, it was a moth in the caterpillar
Ilia
phase.
something. Ilia something.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And so people aren't afraid
It
to.
was creepy, it was just this had little sucker things on us.
Yuck.
I said, she didn't know what it was, so she dunked it.
I drowned it.
She drowned it in the pool, and then so
The bird.
the bird bath pool, and then
No.
I found out what it was. Said, you killed a pretty little old moth.
And Brian says,
Yeah, and then he read what that moth does.
Yeah. Then I read what it does. I said, you did good. This
Yeah.
one we're
Nice.
looking at eats a lot of crops.
Yeah, destroyed.
I have
Nice.
everything, Brian says.
That's like them little white butterflies, the little pretty butterflies.
Cabbage moths.
You
Yeah.
don't
Yes.
want them.
No,
The entire reason we grow in a greenhouse, they're the worst.
Yeah.
they are. They're just terrible.
But we haven't seen a lot. Have you guys been seeing a lot of hornworms this year? I think we've had what, one or two maybe.
Well, my
No,
plant-
none at all.
Mm,
Yeah.
our tomatoes, I mean, just personally, our tomatoes have been out for like a week, so no, not at all.
Yeah, same here.
We don't
I mean,
have
but ours are
Yeah,
taller
we
than
don't
others.
we don't have them either. I've never seen a hornworm.
Thank
They're
goodness.
the worst. They're massive.
The hornworms are from the south. They don't like it cold.
Yeah.
We have them by the dozen.
No, we haven't seen
In
any
fact,
No.
our battling horn. I'm sorry.
yet. No, I was saying we haven't seen them yet, and my tomatoes are turning. So I just picked 7 more tomatoes today.
That's
Right.
fantastic.
Wow.
I say that, Lori, but there's a channel I watched in New Hampshire, and she's got a greenhouse, one of them big old long tunnels,
Okay.
and they have them every year too. So they go out there at night with this purple light, blue light, or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
black light,
To
and
find them.
they glow in the dark almost, and they can find them. So that's how they find them.
I have one of
And-
those lights, and I have gone out looking,
Yeah.
but I never find any.
I don't know where you fit as far as where New Hampshire is, where you
Oh,
fall
yeah.
on the
Right.
We have a ton of them. I don't understand why, but we have a ton of them.
Brian. Come on, Brian.
You guys get pretty
Oh,
cool.
Brian,
Why
this
would you
is-
eat them?
say that. I want to see a video. I want to see you do that.
That is disgusting.
So in other words, prove it.
I'm not watching, Brian. I'm not watching.
Prove it, Brian.
Yum.
No.
I know this is not one of the seeds, but and I need to do a video, and I didn't do one, but I've got the yard long beans.
Oh yeah.
Those things are weird.
You know,
they're so long.
Yeah.
I have to figure out what I'm going to do with them.
if I was to put them over my head, you'd think I was from Jamaica.
Aren't they cool? Aren't they fun to grow though?
And I finally got some pumpkins growing. They're like
Oh,
this
sweet.
thick, but coming out after the flower. My vines are like 12 feet long, and then now they're finally coming out. So
That's awesome. Gail had a little pumpkin too, a little baby on the end of the flower.
Aren't they so
That's-
cute?
They
Them
are.
flowers are good. You clean them
You eat-
off and
you eat the
batter
flowers?
'em and fry them. Ooh,
Really?
the pumpkin
With some
flowers.
bacon.
yeah, but only do the males though. Females turn into pumpkins.
But
Okay.
with the males, from what I understand, you can stuff them full of cream cheese.
Well, how can you tell if they're male? Do you got to look under the little flower skirt or what?
Well, the males have something sticking out, and the
the
females
males
don't.
have,
Oh, okay.
have a piston, and the girls.
You
have-
can take the male ones and make them into, mince them up and make them into pancake batter.
I'm not pushing buttons.
I didn't know
Dart.
you could do that. See, I learn something every day.
Or breads.
Yeah.
Biscuits.
Yeah.
And Dale, are you pushing buttons again?
I'm not. I swear, my hands are away from the keyboard. Although I have done that. I did that on Your Love Saturday night. Sorry. I
I
Oh
thought
no.
spamming the chat. Well, he spelled out spam one letter at a time, and I didn't know who he was. So I said, "You need to go away for a while,
Yeah.
just for a while." And then
Yeah, she says,
Poor
shame
Jessie
on
Lisa.
you.
Jesse
Uh,
and Lisa, this
Is
straw.
Bunky awake? Hold on, I forgot to mute.
Oh, okay. So,
I don't know.
not to mute.
I don't know.
Bunky's still passed out.
Bunky likes to nap at this time of day.
So no, we just got in the car and we left yesterday at like 6 a.m. and then we went to sleep at 3 a.m. and then we got up again at 7:30 so we could spend more time with Grandma and Grandpa. Trey gets super car sick, so she's right here. She's asleep, and Bunky's falling asleep too. And I don't want her to be the one who's blocking people, so I wanted just to make sure that was okay
Oh, well, that's,
because I can't tell. I can't tell.
that's possible. Good.
Yeah.
Hey, Rebel Canners.
It was you?
Everybody does need a nap.
Yeah, everyone
It's
needs
okay.
a nap, right? Who-
So I'm going to
Yeah.
go on while you ask Miss Heather some questions, I guess, maybe.
So I talked to Heather earlier this week, and I don't have like a structured questions thing. I've been trying to get a little bit away from that because they're really unreliable. And also my Wi-Fi is awful. But how are you doing?
Doing well, staying busy for sure. I've been
That's
working
awesome.
on a area next to my orchard, what I call my secret garden, and
Mm,
stamping it, pulling out old pavers and taking soil out. And so I've been working
yeah.
really hard on doing that and getting ready to put some arches up in there, along with trying to get the gardening going and all that. So been busy, very busy.
That's awesome. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Uh, so today's topic was about preserving and remedies and some of your favorite gardening strategies. Off the top of your head, what some of the reasons you started to get into that?
So mainly for like better health, better nutrition and things like that. So one of the things that I wanted to share today is this is now the season for berries
Well, that's the sun.
and herbs and all that kind of stuff that's fresh to where you can build your immunity and also collect stuff throughout the year for like the winter off seasons when you can't be growing. So like
Right.
variety of berries, how can you preserve them? Drying them out, freeze, all kinds of things,
Right.
freezing, all that stuff, right? So also your leaves, like your raspberry leaves, grape leaves, strawberry leaves, all that stuff can be incorporated into water or tea currently to help build your immune system, and they all basically do that. So find all your different stuff. I did go out and I picked, some mint. You can make some sun tea and add some
Yeah,
mint,
that's so cool.
right? Or you can cook with these things. There's some rosemary, lavender, whatever you might have, or maybe a farmer's market. There's some thyme. You can cook with these. You can infuse them in water. You can make teas. Here's a strawberry leaf. And also on your strawberries, don't get rid of the greens. You need to eat those greens too because they're full of lots
Right.
of nutrition and stuff.
You're right.
Here's
It's everywhere.
a raspberry leaf. So one of my remedies, or one of the things that I like to do, is collect a bunch of the stuff in different jars and vacuum seal them, dry them out and
Right.
stuff like that. But you can do sun tea, fill your jar up with water and put whatever herbs or tea, multiple herbs, one herb or whatever, and you can have sun tea. Or you can have, it's kind of summertime, so you don't really want warm tea.
Right.
But teas, you can also use coffee filters as well if you don't have like your own like little tea dippers or tea bags or whatever. Use a coffee filter and you can use fresh herbs if you're making it today, and just tie a little string around your coffee filter and put it in your water and start
That's so
drinking.
cool.
What a great idea.
Yeah, and start adding these things. You can powder if you dehydrate or freeze dry your berries. You can powder that stuff and add some in there, and add some lemon in there. Start
Right.
building your immunity up now, as well as preserving a variety of all the stuff, so you have options to have better gut health and stuff. You can, do all that. She gets sneeze.
Sorry.
But yeah, so I wanted to talk to you guys about doing that and building your immunity, because I think that's important with the berries and all the things, and finding ways that you can preserve that works for you in your home. Like there's a variety of ways to do that, right? So
Yeah,
what
definitely.
do we have? You'll want to make sure that if you're on any medications or pregnant or nursing, that you check into the herbs before you start using them, just in case it interacts or whatnot. That's important.
Right.
But you've got dandelion leaves. You can use a lot of this to make some fresh salads. You can use it on meats when you're cooking meats, or just a number of stuff. And adding the stuff. And like I said, you can add dried, you can add fresh, and just start adding all that stuff into all the meals and all the things that you do throughout the day. And don't just stick to mint, 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 mint. Spread yourself out a little bit. That way your body doesn't get like, yeah, that's mint. Whatever.
Right.
You want to
Right.
simplify, a little bit here and there and play with different stuff so that you're making yourself feel stronger, right? And
So
a lot
if you mix the, let's say, spearmint with peppermint, is that double mint?
yeah, why not?
You can call it whatever.
Right? Yeah. And then,
Hey, I'm asking for a friend.
why not? I think that sounds awesome.
Well-
Maybe strawberries, like cut up a bunch of strawberries and put them in like a big ice jug on the counter. Put some strawberries and the strawberry tops and maybe throw some mint in there. And some
Right.
lemon. That would be
That's such a good idea.
Right? I do that in the summertime a lot. I have a big one that has like a little tap, and I'll put some ice in there, fill it with water, and I'll put all kinds of stuff in there, some lemon and some mints and stuff like that. So throughout the day, you can just fill up your cup or your glass or whatever you drink out of and just keep, hydrating with some good stuff. Right?
I love that idea.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So I think
It's just so much better for you.
Yeah,
I've seen it on Amazon, but now they got these infusion pitchers where you can put all that stuff in the infusion part and then put that into your water. And
yeah,
the water
there's
starts
all
absorbing
kinds
all
of
that.
different ways that you can infuse it into your water. And,
Right.
without having to spend money, you can go to the dollar store and buy coffee filters and just tie a little string around whatever you put in there, unless you want to
Instant coffee.
You know?
Instant tea bag.
So your dandelion leaves, your dandelion roots are good, all kinds of stuff. And then if you make hot tea, don't make it too hot. Make it warm. You can add honey to all this. It boosts your immune system. There's echinacea, turmeric, ginger, just tons and tons of stuff. Look into it and see what you have around you, maybe your farmers markets, and start incorporating that into your system, right?
That's
start
right.
trying to preserve them, right? You can use ice cube trays too. If you blend some of them up and put them in those little tiny silicone ice cubes, you can put
Right.
mint in there or whatever, and plop some minty ice cubes and some lemon and water in here, and
That
the
sounds
ice-
so cool.
right.
Yeah.
So the ice cubes
Right.
flavoring, they're flavored instead
Right.
of just water.
That's so
Yeah, it's
neat.
like the lemon water thing that people do at like wedding showers all the time
Yeah.
because
So-
it's good for you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then looking into fermenting. Fermenting is a big thing where, like, you can do kombucha, which is like a SCOBY, and it's a fizzy drink that you can flavor. I have a video on it. Let's see, Mountain Graham has a video on it. I'm sure there's tons of them, but that's
Yes.
something that helps with your gut health and your immunity and stuff like that. Doing fermented type things like pickles or, all kinds of stuff. Some people don't like some of it, but there is probably something, right? Like your vegetables, you can ferment vegetables like carrots and beets,
Right.
and things like that, and adding
Now,
that.
what is the
every now and then.
process of that? I've never fermented anything. I mean, I've made pickles, but I've never really fermented
So
anything.
when you have it, there's a ratio of salt and water, kind of a combination that you make depending on how big your jar is and how much product you put in there. And it sits on the counter for a certain amount of time. Like, let's see, do I have an example? Like a quart jar, if I was to dice up a bunch of tomatoes, some garlic, and some basil,
Mm-hmm.
nothing else, a pinch of salt, and I pack that in the jar. And for 2 days, I just go by and shake that jar with the tomatoes and all that. Then it's fermented. I can use that
Right.
on top of meat. I can use that in a salad. I can use that, however. And rice.
Fun.
Yeah. So some things take a little longer to ferment than other things.
Yeah.
And it's also your preference too. Like if you don't like that really really strong fermented taste, well, then you'll do less days. So the more days you do, the more fermented taste it gets. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it
Right,
does.
right,
It's good for
exactly.
your,
Yeah.
it's good
the
for your
only time-
gut too.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry.
good for your gut health, and your gut health is what stems for having a healthier immune system. You know, I like adding a lot of lemons to like all the things that I drink too, because lemon helps, they say, purify things out.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah,
laughing at Jersey
sour
Dolphins.
fat.
Jersey Dolphins is saying that he at the local county jail, we turned our grape juice into wine, fermenting it on the windowsill. He said it was 30 plus years ago when I was in for traffic
Yeah,
tickets.
yeah,
So,
you can do that too. Yeah, yeah,
You
The
see, Miss,
disclaimer.
yeah.
you
You
see,
don't
Miss
want to
Ann?
get
That's why you
involved.
don't want to get speeding tickets. You might be
Yeah.
making wine. Might be making wine real soon.
Right? You definitely want to put dates on all your things and what you put in there.
Yes.
And mark it on your calendar, whatever calendar you use to remind you, hey, it's been
Right.
5 years, not 30. When it's,
Yeah.
you know,
yeah,
you don't need nobody getting a little crazy there.
right. The only time I ever tried kombucha, it was not tea. It was definitely wine by the
It's
time.
not, it's
No.
water. But for me, like I like adding elderberry syrup to it. So I make my own elderberry syrup and I'll add a little bit to it. But and also the ferment that you tasted might have been too long or too
Yeah,
strong, right?
Right.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
And I
Something-
think that's the problem with a lot of times when people taste things like, ew,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
like I'm that way too. So I don't like it like super
Mhm.
strong either.
Or
Right.
just they didn't pay attention to whatever they were fermenting, and there's bad spots,
Well,
and it
Mm.
actually spoils instead of ferments.
Yeah, yeah. You got to be careful too when you're fermenting things that are fresh. You know, you got to make sure that you're watching it and it stays under the liquid level. That's important.
Mm,
Yeah, and that there's
right.
some air bubbles in it. You know, because if your stuff's popping up above the liquid that you're supposed to be adding, that's gonna cause bacterial growth and things like
and
that.
make sure you keep it covered to make sure bugs don't get in it.
Yeah,
all
you know,
Right.
Oh,
you'll,
yeah.
you'll have a lot of bugs.
A lot of
yeah,
back there.
especially in the fall. So make sure you put like a like cotton cut
Yeah,
the cotton in a
breathable.
rubber band,
Yeah.
and that'll keep it
Right.
in out. And,
So,
Ammonia
so,
and some soil.
yeah, and
so public
cinnamon.
service announcement, if you're not into science, don't try this at home, folks.
Yeah. Well, it
Yeah.
can be simple, and I would recommend trying with one thing and finding out how you like that one thing. Figure
Mhm.
it out, and then move on to a new one. You know,
Yeah, start with pickles.
yeah. Start with pickles. You
Good
can
starter. Yeah.
so, yeah. So that's what
Mm.
I've got to say about that. It's got lots of good things to be adding these things into your diet daily. You know,
Absolutely.
not just
Right.
ferment, adding, you know, these different herbs in your cooking and your water or tea, you know, or your kombucha or whatever it is that you like to drink, you know.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Well,
And
there was
it's
somebody. I'm sorry. There was someone in here that was talking about homemade sauerkraut. Now, I am not a fan of sauerkraut, but I've only had store-bought sauerkraut. So
Oh, big
I don't know.
difference.
I
Huge
mean,
difference.
Yeah.
That-
it's like
that's-
catching up
Homemade
bread
sauerkraut can it can
and
sometimes be
eating.
crunchier.
Is
yeah,
it?
and especially if you use grape leaf,
Caraway.
you put grape leaves down first on top of the cabbage,
Yep.
and then you put your weights on it.
Yeah, it helps hold the cabbage down. And then
Yeah.
also adding caraway to cabbage to it. The caraway seed kind of takes a little bit of the tartness away as well.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right.
That's an option.
And what type of weights do you use when you're fermenting?
I
plate.
have some right here. I can show you.
Cool.
Well, the biggest weight is patience, Miss
Hi
Ann.
there, Truth.
Yeah.
Hello.
So these are called pucks.
Yeah, I have some of those. Similar.
Cool.
You can get them online. I don't know if the stores have them where you're at, maybe, but online you can probably get a better deal. You know, so that's what you put on there to hold all the stuff down. Like,
I have a big crock.
Okay, cool. Okay, cool. The kitty cat is really liking your beard.
Aww.
And
like
I just put a plate
something
down,
in there.
just a regular kitchen plate to hold it down. 'Cause
Oh, you do.
I like if I go and get a batch of green beans, I'll ferment half of them and half of them I'll can up
Okay.
because
You
green
can use
beans
a
are
rock,
really good.
that would fit in the mouth of your jar. Just make sure you wash it. You know, you can put a rock on top that's not too big. For a weight,
Okay.
you know,
Anything that would hold it under the liquid,
yeah,
right?
you just don't want
Yeah.
it too heavy where the object you're putting in there is going to go plump to the bottom. You know?
That would be something I would do.
Yeah.
Oh
Right.
my goodness. Well, I
Yeah.
really am interested in starting all of that because
Right.
I believe that our health does come through our guts, and whatever your stomach and your intestines are doing is very telltale sign of your health. And
Yeah, it is for sure. And if you look into each individual, like, for example, the dandelion leaves and the dandelion, like, look into all the vitamins and nutrition and things. And they all like help support your immune system, but they all have different vitamins. So if you can
Yeah.
diversify what you add into your water or your tea or your foods or salt, you know, whatever you're cooking or making, that helps diversify, say, vitamin A, vitamin A. Well, that might be a
Right.
little different vitamin A. So,
right.
Right.
just for example, right?
And
they
Bear
do
True
different
says
things.
they're sitting here eating poke and grits for supper tonight. Poking out of my lips and gritting my teeth. Oh
Yeah.
God.
Exactly.
So Charles, you mentioned a while ago using grape leaves. The
Yeah.
question here, so why
Yeah.
leaves? Obviously, grape leaves probably because it gives you a better flavor. But
No,
is it just any leaves?
it makes it well just like you putting the grape leaf in with your pickles. It makes them crunchy. The pickles crunchy.
Whoa.
Okay,
It'll
so
keep
it's
the
not used for
crunchiness.
flavoring; it's used for crispness.
Yeah.
Crispness.
Yeah. Plus, it
Okay.
doesn't hurt to have grape leaf anyway.
Is grape leaves the only thing you can use?
There are some other stuff that you can use. There's the chemical stuff, but I've got
Jenna's
wild
saying she uses a leaf of
wild
cabbage.
grape.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it's very important though, whatever you are using, be definitely sure you know what you're using. Don't
Yeah.
just go out and say, hey, that looks like a mint. I'm gonna eat it. No,
Right.
Right. Right.
no. But it's pretty easy just to plant a lot of stuff, rosemary, thyme, and they all have like, reducing swelling, and not all of them, but a lot of them do,
Anti-inflammatory.
anxiety, stress.
Yeah.
Like they have like lots of benefits to them besides, the vitamins and the immune boosting stuff and all that.
Right.
I barely have time for Lisa. I don't know if I can have time for Rosemary.
Yeah.
And whatever, make sure you do some research on like it just for steeping your herbs. There's some that takes you can steep it. It'll be done in 5-10 minutes.
Right.
There's some that will take 12 to 24 and longer before they release anything. And
Really?
yeah, there's so much difference in the herbs, and a lot of times you type it on. Sorry, Google, but you type it on Google, and that AI pops up and tells you stuff, and
don't listen to it.
more
Yeah.
than not, they're wrong because it just they don't.
It takes from irrelevant sources.
Right.
Yeah.
So what I would say about that is whenever you're out and about and you see a garage sale or an estate sale or a thrift store or whatever, look for the herbal books
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
get it. If it's only
Yeah.
a few bucks, get it.
Especially the
Right.
old ones, because I'm not saying that there's not no new good ones, but there's a lot of people that on Amazon that write books that don't know what they're doing. They just copy it from Google,
Yeah.
Right.
and it just
Yeah.
one little story about something, and everybody, oh, I heard this person do it, and then
And they're
it
doing
spreads like crazy.
That's
Right.
right.
And
So,
of course
you
if
mean
you
to tell me?
Sorry.
You mean to tell me? After 40 years of doing whatever, all I had to do was raid grandma's library, her books. Ain't no way.
Probably. Yeah.
Well, because grandma had, man, she had all the good books, like all the old stuff. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna mention any names, but you know what I'm talking about, all the old good stuff. And probably threw away a bunch of stuff didn't need to throw away.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you're looking, people don't look for that stuff. When
Mhm.
you go to those places, they're looking for what's today, now, stuff. And you're
The
like,
prettiest thing.
aha, you know. So
Hey, Angel, thank you, Angel. Appreciate that.
Angel.
Thank you.
and
Sweet.
the best way to dry herbs is just in air, like in a net
Yeah.
or a screen.
Oh,
Right.
I mean,
natural.
that's the best yep.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
But
some
how do you
some
do
herb
that?
will actually, if like some people like to use dehydrators because they don't want to wait, you can actually ruin the herb
Yeah.
by
Oh.
dehydrating them.
and that goes back
Especially
to
if
not
you add in heat.
using, right? That goes back to not using steaming hot water when you're making your teas.
Yeah,
Warm water, also like for your honey, it'll break down the benefits of the honey if it's too
yeah.
hot.
Right. Basically
You know.
cooks it out.
That's why when you're going to the store to buy honey, majority of the honey that you buy in the store is useless unless
Yeah,
unless you
not-
just want to use it for sugar, sweetener,
exactly.
Right.
because it's been just like milk.
Overly processed.
Yeah, they process it, they heat it, so it kills all the germs, but it kills everything else.
That's right.
Well, Wanda Brunstetters are some good books that somebody in chat wanted me to mention. So, but yeah, there's a lot of great books, and you might find one like Cleavers is kind of like a sticky kind of herbal vine that's
Right.
really annoying, that like clings on to everything and grows wild and crazy, but it's got a lot of benefits.
Mhm.
But
Right.
when you look in herbal books, it's actually kind of hard to find. So having multiple books because
Yeah.
you know what something is, or you want to know more about something, like say rosemary's in one book, but then a couple books over, it has a little more information that you were looking for.
Well, when you tie your herbs up, and you said you cover them with a net, or some people put them in a paper bag, or something like that, where do you hang all your herbs?
Kitchen.
So I have like a clothing rack in my garage, and I don't cover them. I just tie them with like a cotton
String.
string,
Okay.
and I hang them on that. You can use hangers. You could use like 1x1s and hang them from the ceiling. You could
Yeah.
use like those little coat racks that you mount on the wall that have the little.
Uh-huh.
You could tie them on that.
Well, let me ask you a question, and I because I have tried to hang my fresh herbs up to dry them, because I do have to use my dehydrator often, and it just fries the stars out of them. But
Yeah.
I don't really have a choice, because where we live is so humid. It is moist here all the time. And when I'm making oils or salves or whatever, the biggest item that will make things spoil or get moldy is moisture.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you live in the same kind of climate we live in, Miss Ann. It's a lot real high, high humidity. So for us to dry them naturally, we can do that, but because of the humidity, it takes a little bit longer. So what we do is we tie them to the ceiling fan, all 4 blades, and then they're going around and around, and it's
Hey,
drying a whole
that
lot
would
quicker.
work.
I knew I was reaching for my
So,
book
It's
eventually.
natural. Hey, wait a minute. You laugh, but it's true. You tie it to the ceiling fan, and then all of them are blowing away. They're drying. Look,
wake
trust
up,
me.
wake up back there.
Sorry, sorry.
So here's an idea. Do you have like a dehumidifier or something that takes the moisture out of
Yeah.
your house?
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe
And
so.
we-
if
we-
you have
we
them
run that.
inside, if you have one of those,
Yeah,
Oh,
we
would definitely have to hang them inside.
yeah we have to hang.
Yeah.
It would have to be inside for sure. And I've tried it inside. But even the herbs end up getting mold on them when I hang
so
them up.
what about like a small fan?
Yeah, I could probably do
Yeah.
that.
Mix, and you have some
Right.
circulating, you know.
And something
Well,
else to do is
but
to
that's my
not
point.
tie the bundles too tight. And with too
Yeah.
many, like if you're making
Smaller.
your bundles too big, then the inner leaves
Yeah.
are not getting exposed to anything. You're
Right.
better
Right.
off laying them flat on something. Like I have some old dehydrator trays, and I don't have, like, it doesn't even have the base anymore, but I'll spread the herbs on the
I
tray
do too.
and then cover it with the next tray, and because then they get airflow and they can sit there for, they're
Right.
not touching each other like when they're
Well,
hanging.
And some dehydrators have just an airflow setting where you
Yeah.
can put them in there on the
Yeah.
trays and just run the air, not
Yeah.
necessarily
Yeah.
to
Do you have a
dehydrate.
greenhouse, Anne?
I do, but I'm telling you, it's wet in there. Like
Oh,
wet.
yeah.
Like,
Okay. No, not a
you
good
walk
idea.
outside and it is like somebody threw a wet rag on your face.
So I
It is-
wonder if you could get some, like, screen that you use for your windows,
Uh-huh.
attach it to like 1x2s that run
Yeah.
the length of it, not, maybe a foot or something, and maybe
Right.
mount them up high so you can lay it flat up, and then maybe have like a little fan that does some air.
Right. I like that idea.
Going in and stirring them up every day.
Yeah, that.
Right. If you're not able to have a fan, getting in there and just kind of moving them around a little bit so they're not just sitting in the same place
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
Has anybody ever
Right.
tried doing it? Has anybody ever tried doing it in the oven on the lowest
Yes.
setting? On the
Yes.
lowest setting?
Well,
Yeah.
you don't even have to do that. Just use the light bulb.
Yeah.
It's
Really
like
good.
making bread. If your kitchen's chilly, you turn the light on in your oven because that'll
Or you
do quite a
could
bit of heat.
turn it on the lowest setting, and once the preheat's done, turn your stove off, and then
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might work.
That along with the
sounds a
light.
good idea.
sure.
Yeah, but
Then
some of the
you're-
lights nowadays are LED. So the light wouldn't
Right.
But
too
as
much-
soon as
too
they're
much help.
done, you're gonna want to put them in whatever you're saving them in vacuum.
whatever
seal.
container, yes.
Yeah. And vacuum. Yeah, I have to vacuum seal often. And
Yeah. So
in
there's
jars and things.
you'll
to-
have to let us know what works.
Okay. I'll try.
Just make sure you just
I don't like using the dehydrator because you see that they're fried when they come out, but I didn't
Yeah.
Right.
really have a choice. Every time I've tried before, that all the herbs get moldy. I mean, they just
Yeah.
it's
It's so bad.
Letting them out, having the fan would probably be your best option.
Mhm.
Right.
I can,
And then
I can
You
give
might
that
have to make a
So-
contraption, to hang up high above whoever's the tallest.
We show people in this house, but
Pretty sure they make. I don't know.
Go ahead. I'm
I
sorry.
think they
Patty.
make those like. Sorry. They make like stackable trays, and we use them to dry our grape leaves.
I do have
Yeah.
some stackable. I mean, I do
They
have.
just and we can just hang them from our gazebo.
There's
Yeah,
another
I have.
thing.
I got it from Amazon for drying out my seeds and stuff, but I'll just toss in batches of herbs in there, and it has
Right.
multiple layers and it has a zipper on the side. It's all made of screen, and it has
Right.
like a coat hanger thing at the top,
Yeah.
which I don't use that. I just use rope and just let it hang in a room and have a fan
Right.
blowing on it.
There's another thing too, like at the Dollar Tree store, they have these like mesh zipper pouches, but they
Mhm.
also have these stackable round dealing-mabobs that hang, and it's got all these little circles, and it's mesh. And there's like
Right.
4 of them, and kids would put like their stuffed animals in there. You'd hang it in the
Yeah.
closet or wherever, but you could use something like that too to hang.
Right.
Like
So going back to
sheer-
your putting them in a jar as soon as you
Yeah.
get done with them in the oven, going back to that idea, I know that there's oxygen absorbers. So what's the main cause of mold? Moisture, right?
moisture.
So is
Yeah.
there such a thing as a moisture absorber?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well then why couldn't you just do that? Put those inside with the leaves instead of,
Well,
but
an
the
oxygen absorber actually sucks the moisture out of the oxygen as well.
Mhm.
Right.
Right? Because there's moisture in oxygen. A
okay, so it
Right.
does both.
Right.
Yeah, it's the air
Right.
that
The other ones, the dissectants, they're more for sugary things. The ones
Mm.
that suck the moisture out, they're for, like, I use
Right.
those in my freeze dried candies,
Okay.
dissectants, when I package them, because they keep them from getting moist. But
Mm.
the air ones, they suck the moisture out of the air.
Yeah.
And
Right.
That's what you want to get out. You want to
do,
get the
do
air.
research on the herb too, because some you don't want to suck out the vacuum seal or anything. You don't want to suck any of the oxygen out
Right.
because
Right.
like tobacco. If smoking tobacco, if you put a pack of cigarettes in a jar to save them and vacuum sealing, those cigarettes are useless because it takes all the moisture out and everything, and it just instantly burns up.
Dry
And
and harsh and-
yeah,
Mm.
Right.
The more I find out, the less I know.
well, that's a good. I like to do because I'm working at being an herbalist, and to get certified, you need 800 hours,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
which of training.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's a
That's
lot of
awesome.
I'm like halfway, so it's
Well, tell me, you and Heather, you and also Charles. I know Lori has one, and Jesse and Lisa have one. I'm not sure that the girls have one, but I'm really interested in getting another excuse to purchase a freeze dryer to be able to freeze dry my herbs.
We do not have
love
one.
Eating all my eggs and making powdered eggs like
Yeah.
crazy.
Ooh.
And I'm super excited. I'm going to be doing all the berries.
Okay.
That sounds so
Powdering,
cool.
because then I can use, like, say, strawberry powder
Yeah.
to
Right.
mix into my cream cheese
Smoothies.
or into a drink or make my own vitamins, like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So we use ours for the powdered eggs, but one thing she uses it a lot for is powdered milk. So
Yeah.
if you want to save milk, let's say milk
Ooh.
goes on sale $2 a gallon,
Into
and you want
yogurt.
to buy
Yeah.
powdered milk, and when
Yeah.
you rehydrate it, it tastes just like it came out brand
Yeah.
spanking new.
Yeah. And if
Well,
you
and
do,
with all
like,
the chemicals in creamer now, your own dehydrated milk to use as creamer in your coffee or freeze dried,
Right.
I mean.
Right?
Oh
It
gosh.
works good.
See, you've convinced me already. It's worth that I have to talk to. Yeah.
right,
Totally.
you could, like,
Yes, they're so cool.
oh, here's the topper end for the grandbabies. You could
That's
make
right.
powdered strawberry milk.
Yes.
You're buying the fake stuff.
Right?
We must have
Those are
one.
so cool.
Say no more, Miss Ann. I put the link in the chat for you.
I've
Especially
made grape powder too with my grapes.
oh
Freeze
yeah.
drying them and then making the powder. Usually when I've like made when you make jelly and stuff, you take the skins and stuff out, right? So then I'll dry the skins and powder the skins. So I'm still using them as well.
Oh, that's
So Lori, I don't know
good.
if you've done this, but the best thing to to freeze dry, the best thing to freeze dry is milk duds.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't tried milk duds
You
yet.
just
I
say,
haven't done candy.
if you have not done a milk dud,
I've
you're
done
missing out.
candy, but
Well, hey, you woke up.
Hi.
All you have to
Hey,
say is
Parsec.
milk duds.
Yeah, you can make baby
I
food.
can't
Like
hear
if
you,
you
so
we can't hear you, Greg.
We can't hear you.
do plain yogurt and then use your berries to flavor your powder. You don't have to powder your berries, but if you did,
Right.
you can use that to flavor your yogurt.
Can you hear me now?
I
There you
can.
go.
And
Okay.
it's space
So-
saving.
Lori, you said you're freeze drying the grape skins.
Yes.
Doesn't that super tanniny? Because that's where a lot of the grape tannins are. So what does that taste like?
What?
Tastes kind of soury, grapey.
Sour grapes.
Sweet and
Yeah.
sour.
She has sour. She has sour grapes.
Yeah.
What do you use the grape
Well,
water?
you can add a sweet fruit.
I usually just put a little bit in smoothies.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, you can do that like rhubarb. Rhubarb's very tart. If you add strawberry, like if you're making jam, that makes it taste better. Or if you did powdered fret or whatever, however you want to do it. You can add all these things into breads and muffins and
That's yummy. So Heather, you don't have to crush them into powder though, right?
no, you don't. You can do them whole. Yeah.
And you just rehydrate them and they taste like you just picked them.
Right. Except you want to, like the berries and stuff, they say that you should cut them in half because they have that skin on the outside. But a trick to that is to put your tray in the freezer. And when you pull it out of the freezer, it breaks the membranes of the skin. So then they will dry.
Right.
Okay,
And
so you're just trying to break the skin.
So
Instead
yeah,
of
like if you took a blueberry, you'd either have to cut it in half or do little pricks on it, each one. But if you stick it in the freezer and it comes out, you've broken that kind of membrane type.
So when you
That's
say
not
put
the right
when you say put your trays in the freezer, you mean put your trays filled with fruit, the fruit in the freezer. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, you can do your strawberries whole, and then you can take them out and rehydrate them, reconstitute them with water, like just all kinds of stuff. You know, your dinner.
That's very cool.
They're better freeze dried. You throw them in your mouth. I rehydrate them with my mouth.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they're just as good.
Yep. Pre-freeze.
Same with banana slices.
So Kayla wanted to say something. What were you going to say, sweetie?
I don't think I was.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're just,
I don't know.
I've never tasted it on its own. I've only just like I throw a spoonful into a smoothie or something. So.
All right. That makes more sense.
oh, now she's tasting it. Look.
Yeah, it just tastes grapey.
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 Oh,
That's
Mild.
Yeah, that's a good way to add some more fruit and greens to
Into everything. But I usually just
without
use it
them
in
really
smoothie.
knowing.
yeah.
You could probably sprinkle some of that like on granola in the morning.
Yeah,
or,
absolutely.
yeah, or yogurt on your yogurt.
Absolutely. It's just a kind of a powder.
that's awesome.
Oh.
Look
I
what
just didn't waste anything, right? And I just couldn't bear to throw away the skins in the
Right.
bowl after I
Right.
pulled everything out to make the jelly. So
Okay, can we go
That's
back to
very
Heather and ask? I want to ask you. You said something earlier. I was paying attention, but I wasn't. You said something about the tops of the strawberries. Keep the tops of the strawberries. You talking about to dehydrate, to freeze dry? What are you talking?
Everything.
Strawberry.
If you throw your strawberries in a blender to say make a smoothie or whatever, wash it and throw the whole thing in there. Even if you have to cut it, save the tops because the tops, kind of like the skins of like a baked potato or different things. The skins have a lot of nutritional value in them.
Right.
Strawberry tops are good.
So if you were to,
she had him. She was talking about doing like when she was talking about teas and sun tea
Right.
and water,
But-
infusing the water, the strawberry tops.
so, but what I'm saying, if you cut the tops off and you dehydrate all those tops and then powder it, does it taste like a strawberry?
It would, but it might have like a little tartness to it at the same time.
Because of the greens?
Right, right. So it wouldn't
Yeah.
be sweet as the bottom.
Reason I say that was because when Lisa does like tomatoes and we cut the cores out of tomatoes, she'll dehydrate or freeze dry all the scraps and then and dehydrate and then make powdered
Tomato powder.
Oh,
tomato
yeah.
powder out of it.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same.
And it tastes just like tomatoes.
Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
So don't waste it. Keep it.
Right. Everything goes for something.
Yeah. Yep.
I did celery powder too.
I actually want to go to the
Celery,
coast
yeah.
and collect seaweed because there's certain types of seaweed that's good for like doing facials and like hair for your hair and
Kentucky.
stuff like that. But
Seaweed, Heather, really?
Yeah.
Seaweed?
So I wanted to freeze
I draw
dry
the line. I draw a line on
turn it
facial
into
products.
powder. But you only get 10% of the product that you collect.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, and one thing I did with strawberry tops too was make extract, strawberry extract. I just, whenever I cut the tops off, I threw them in a jar and kept them held down, put some alcohol in there, and
right. And apple
that's
season
good.
is coming,
Yeah.
so save
Strawberry,
those wins.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you know that there's such a thing as chocolate milk, like Nesquik, the powder. Is there a way to make the strawberry powder?
Mm-hmm. I think
Powder
the same
strawberry.
way. I think just taking your strawberries and crushing them or blending them up into a powder after you freeze dry them, or
The
dehydrating.
sugar and the powder are dehydrated.
Yeah.
Okay, and then mix
I
them
don't know
together.
what the
Yeah.
ratio would be, like how much you'd have to add to your milk to make it.
Yeah, you
You
have to play with
play with it. Mhm.
Ugh, that's it.
Right.
I have to have a freeze dryer, y'all.
it.
Right?
Gotta
They're
get one.
wonderful. I love
Well, I'll
mine.
tell you this: you can go to the
Harvest right.
Harvest Right website, and you can sign up for their newsletter and sign up. Create yourself an account, and they put you on a list. And they have giveaways all the time. I say all the time. Quite often they have giveaways, and they draw from those people that are in there.
And they give you this book when you get one that has all these fun things. Right?
Yeah.
That was my harvest, right? What the hell?
Well,
I got
but they're always having scratch and dent sales. Let me tell you, we bought a scratch and dent, and there wasn't a scratch or a dent on it. But what they call it that so that they can reduce the price and get more inventory out. So and we got it for almost half the price.
Okay.
And I got a jug, like a water pitcher looking jug that filters the oil, so it'll tell you when you need a excuse me, oil change. You can just pour your oil in it and it filters it, and you can reuse your oil without having to keep buying
oil.
Oil. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
I understand that there's a lot of freeze dryers on Facebook Marketplace these days because people get them thinking that they're going to use them all the time, and then they don't hardly use them, so they just resell them because they take up so much space.
Or they find out that they thought it was going to be like an hour or two. Sometimes it takes a long time to freeze dry something. It may take 24 hours.
Right.
So, I don't have that much.
Longer than that because of the seeds in them.
Yeah.
So they get, well, I don't know if I got that much time to wait, or I don't want to run that machine all that long because it's using power, so.
Yeah.
Right. Same with all the canning stuff that everybody got. The chickens, there's going to be chickens pretty soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so Lisa's freeze dries ground beef all the time, and when you rehydrate it, tastes just like it was.
Yeah, you
when
make
first
an
put it in.
amazing dinner at home and you have way too many leftovers that you guys can't eat in a few days. Freeze dry it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I've got beef stew and different soups and even pasta dishes like stuffed
you can
pasta
have
and
5 jars of all your soup that you made too much of that you canned, right? Versus like 1 pouch.
Right.
Right. Takes a lot of less room.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. I'm
And
just
then you
convinced.
just add water. Great for traveling or
Well,
when
I've
you just
even
want something really quick.
Peas. Oh my gosh, I love freeze dried peas. You can eat them like a
Right.
snack.
That's,
You know? They're really good.
we get
That's
those
what I
from the so good.
You're doing
Yeah.
Say
good
that again.
back there.
You're kind of popping in and out there, baby girl.
No, sorry, my reception's really bad. We get the freeze-dried peas from the Amish store all the time. They're so good.
They're really
Okay.
good.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
good.
The flavor and things intensifies a little bit in a lot of stuff.
It does.
Yes.
That's why I said the milk duds. You gotta when you freeze dry milk dud, when you put that bad boy in your mouth, it explodes.
Okay, I have a question.
It's so good.
How far apart do you space the milk duds on the tray?
Well, they're gonna get as big as a golf ball, about the size of a golf ball or less.
So I
Okay.
have medium trays, and
Do
I
you
do
cut
like
them?
4.
You
No,
cut them in
I
half?
I do 4.
No, the whole thing.
Okay.
And when they come out, they explode or they grow
Yeah.
like about the size of a golf ball. When you put
Yeah.
that bad boy in your mouth, it
Melt.
explodes, and it's like, oh my goodness, the flavor just. You're right, it intensifies.
Caramel is really good too. If you can get Werther's caramels, and I have to cut them into thirds.
I got Skittles.
They're
I
really
need
good
to do.
too.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we
I
don't.
got
We call them
Skittles.
down south over here. We call them caramels. You call them caramel.
Caramel?
No, caramels.
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 I say
Yeah.
caramel
Those
too.
Carrots.
things.
Even
I think it's caramel.
carrots
Yeah.
are
Caramel.
delicious freeze dried.
Yeah, and so handy. Like I'll make soups out of just freeze dried
Yeah, you
stuff.
can just toss everything
Right,
from
toss everything together
different
and-
bags or jars, or you can make your soup and put it all in a jar or a bag, all
Yeah.
ready to
Right.
go. Add water or broth, you know.
Yeah, and you're good
Right.
to go. Super handy.
The only thing we haven't freeze dried. The only thing we haven't tried is we haven't tried freeze drying water.
Well, you
Yeah.
just have a lot of air after that, Jassy.
Air is how
Potatoes.
Yeah. You should do a video on that, and she's gonna do milk duds tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Lisa has freeze dried beef stock and what
Chicken stock.
chicken stock.
Okay.
You're right,
Chicken broth.
Heather. It
Yeah.
goes from a big jar like this
Yeah.
to a little
Yeah.
bitty pouch.
Yeah.
right.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Then you have your own bouillon, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
That's
Mhm.
so cool.
Or like goat's
And those are
milk.
super
or if you're
convenient.
making soap.
Yeah.
You can make goat's milk or cow's milk or all
Yeah.
your dairy. Like ice.
Cheese.
People do ice cream sandwiches and ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
My
haven't done
friend-
that yet, but I want to.
My friends do ice cream sandwiches. What were you going to say,
Yeah.
Trey?
So if you freeze dry a dairy product, does it still spoil? Like
No.
after like how
No, like milk. Once you freeze dry it, it's going to last forever.
Okay.
Not unless it gets wet. If it gets
If
wet,
you leave
it'll-
it on
It
the
gets wet.
counter
Yeah.
and it gets moisture or something,
yeah.
Then it can
Right.
spoil. But
you
We-
have
we-
to store it properly after you
Yeah.
freeze.
So we had somebody freeze dry some ice cream sandwiches for us one time before we had ours. Before we got
Yeah.
ours, and I wasn't a fan because somehow it takes all the flavor out. It takes all the
Yeah.
sweetness out.
we're not sure how she
Which is-
did it. Or,
And
Well,
I felt like I was eating some of that stuff off the chalkboard when we were in school. I felt like I was chewing
Oh,
some of
I
that
had
chalk.
some of that. It was delicious. Bobby and Cherie from Black's Tropical Homestead did it. It was very good. So
well, do you know that you can go get ice cream sandwiches from the store, put them on your counter, and they don't melt?
They don't melt. Yeah, I've seen that.
Make
Yeah.
Ones we got
homemade ice
on our
cream.
freezer shut down.
Yeah, there you go. Make your own homemade ice cream and then freeze dry that.
Yeah.
I know. I'm wanting to make homemade Pop Tarts, and I was curious
Oh.
to know what freeze dried homemade
Yeah, yeah.
Pop-Tarts would be like.
That sounds
I
really
did some ginger snaps once, and they turned out wonderful when they
We
were
used to
freeze dried.
make our own ice cream sandwiches. We'd use Pop Tarts, would put ice cream in the middle and Pop Tarts on the ends.
Yeah,
Oh, and you get the iced ones,
Cookies.
the iced
Yeah.
Pop Tart.
They're
Oh,
real good.
That would be
Some
good.
ice cream in the
That's
middle.
good.
Okay, I'm hungry now.
you
I
sound
did some Jello once, and that was quite.
Have you ever had the freeze dried marshmallows?
Yes.
Yeah.
How big do those get?
yeah.
Well,
The little
they're like
baby
the,
ones?
the little things that you have. What's that cereal they got? It's called
Lucky Charms.
Like
Lucky Charms. The magically delicious. Well, they're like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Some like a lot of that candies and stuff like that. I don't really eat that stuff, but I'm thinking.
The market, the candy.
Right.
I saw it at the market.
Yeah. Back to school, you know.
Quiet. Wait a minute. We can't talk about marshmallows. I forgot Bunky's in the car. We don't talk about marshmallows.
She's sleeping. It's fine.
Oh, she's asleep. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
marshmallow.
How long has that been now? Like 2 years?
Oh,
No,
Yeah.
it's been 2 years.
broke her. How long ago would you say that was? I
Almost.
think
Yeah.
probably about almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
Too.
Wow. But see, it still hurts. It still hurts every time we talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh, trying to get the
Having some,
marshmallows
like,
off the shelf.
Flexibility issues with
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, one of the biggest things that I'm focusing on is trying to make all the stuff for the soup, broccoli, and just so that I can make soups.
That's
Well, wait a minute.
awesome.
You just make the soup that you would like to make, and then when you're done, freeze dry it. That's what Lisa does. She just freeze dries the whole soup,
That's
meat and
true.
all, and then
Puts in the bag.
puts it in the bag, and then
So
it's
do
ready.
you
We
pour
do that
the
and we send it to Canada.
So you pour the soup into the tray when it's in the thing, or do you pre-freeze it?
No, I pour it in out here and then carry it in. Well, it depends on. I've not done soupy soup, but it's been like thick.
Like hearty
Okay.
soup. Hearty soup.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
done it.
Not
both
water.
ways.
I'm not pre-frozen. I don't think I've
Yeah, because
pre-frozen.
there's no
anything.
way I could get my trays to where the freezers are without spilling.
No, you'd have to take a big jug and pour it into
I'd
the
have
tray
to take the
and slide
kettle
it.
out
Yeah.
there,
Big
pour it
fan
in
for the
there.
freezer.
I've done it
Well,
both ways.
That's
Pre-freezing. I have sometimes in my freezer. I can move stuff around enough that I can get an empty shelf, and I can line my trays up in there and pre-freeze.
That's what I'd have to
pouring
do.
it in there.
I'd have to.
But I have
bring
also
the
just
kettle
poured
out.
it right into the freeze dryer with the
Right.
tray at the freeze dryer, and just pull the tray out a ways, pour it in, level it out, push it back in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I do with the milk and the eggs.
Yeah,
I'll take 4 containers into there.
yeah.
Pour
Yeah.
it.
I
Yeah,
just
because I don't want to try carrying those trays with liquid, right? That would not
Yeah.
work.
No, that's dangerous.
No, not end well.
You
Yeah.
lose everything. Yeah.
Yeah. When I do
You
my
have to-
eggs, I'm mixing them right where the unit is, and I
Yeah.
have the tray there. And, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I use parchment paper. Do you guys use parchment paper?
No, I actually bought these paper, and they're kind of like parchment paper, but I got them on Amazon.
Inserts.
Oh,
Yeah.
that would be nice because I have to cut them.
Oh, cool.
You know.
Yeah, I
I
think
actually have the inserts that Harvest Right makes for my trays.
Yeah.
And depending on what I'm putting in
Silicone
there,
mat.
it'll depend on whether I use the parchment or those liners.
The
Good
silicone.
night, off-grid world.
Yeah,
And
I'd
then-
like to get some liners. That would probably be easier.
Well, for things like candy and stuff, I don't like to use the liners because they don't
Right.
seem to keep the same heat. They
Huh.
seem to block some of the heat from the candy.
Oh.
That's a good tip. Thanks.
And you can put your trays in the dishwasher.
Really?
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
so careful of like washing them and drying them after each use.
They're
And buy it
stainless.
for the
I don't want
dishwasher. I
them
tell you,
to ruin
it's,
'cause it's expensive. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about, Robin.
I'd like to have another set of trays and the little clear. They have clear lids that
Covers, yeah.
you can stack them.
Yeah.
In
Right.
the freezer fryer? I would think the plastic covers would like melt or something.
You don't put the plastic covers in there. That's for like transporting. So if you didn't
Oh.
have something that's sloshing around, like say berries or something, you can put the lids on there if you had to move them from one area to another.
Or you can stack them in the freezer.
Yeah, you can stack them in the freezer. That gives you
Yeah.
a gap. Yeah.
So that way they're not like.
Then you take them off right before you put them in the sleeve, right?
See, that would make good sense.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're like, I don't know.
I sort of skipped the good sense
Yeah,
part.
it's okay.
So if anybody in the chat wants to help Miss Ann start a GoFundMe page for a new freeze dryer,
They have
contact her at andalehomestead@gmail.com.
That's right. That's right.
Oh yeah, they have dividers that go in there. Thank you for reminding me, Xander. They have little dividers that go in the trays.
Oh,
So
yeah.
So you could do like, I don't know what, brownies or something.
Yeah.
Or you can just do different types of fruit or different types of herbs or different, whatever you're doing.
Or if you're doing like a meal, you want to divide it into certain.
Yeah, like say you want to have 1 cup or something.
Yeah, portion size.
Yeah, portion size.
Right.
Meat, potato, and beans.
Okay, so Dana B just showed up. We have to start all over. Okay, welcome in everybody to Survival C20.
Be charming. I could tell
Well,
that you
another
really love
part
your
of
freeze
this was
dryer too.
talking about different preserving methods, and a lot of people can't get a freeze dryer right now, which is okay. It's like a goal, like I've waited for years, to be able to finally do it. But you've got your oven, you've got your freeze dryer, you've got canning, drying, and all kinds of things. So you got to do what you can do for now, and just keep going forward with what you have.
Yeah.
Until someday you can add something to your preserving methods.
That's right. So you guys go and check out Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. Now, at the end of her channel name, she spells farms like lazy days. She has Milk in Honey Heritage FARMZ.
Right.
And Heather, I don't know of anything that you don't do, honey. I mean, you do everything.
She's such a cool channel.
Oh,
She sews, she has animals, she cooks, she makes herbs, she does everything. She does it all. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Which
And
tells me she has
actually, so Linda from Another Time is doing is that okay that I say that?
Yeah.
Okay, she's doing a building collaboration, and there's several people that are doing different projects, building projects each day.
Oh.
So it's people that are not like people that are like, oh, I've been doing this for 50 years type. I mean, maybe they are, but you know what I mean? It's like, you could have a birdhouse or whatever. So I've got my video coming out on the 6th. Linda's came out today. She did some cornhole boards that look amazing. So it's just trying to encourage people that you can give it a try, and you might find a project that's worth.
What's your
That's great. Thank you. Thank you, Dark. Thank you, Xander.
So she's into honey, she's into farm animals, she's into growing, she's into cooking, she's into canning, she's into just about everything gardening. She's into all these collaborations. When do you have time to clean the house?
I did. I thought I put it back there.
Well, in the spring and the summer, it kind of, my living room's always clean. I'll just say that. My living room's always clean, and the dishes get done. But the tedious stuff sometimes is hard,
There you go. Right. There you go, honey. There you go. That sounds great. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, because you're in about 6 collabs, I think, aren't you?
Hey, Loose Screw Wrench.
You never know. You never know.
She and Gail from Gail Southern Living. They're the collaboration queen.
I love doing the collaborations,
Put it on your nose.
That's great.
Everybody has some great ideas, and so it's fun. I try to to them.
Collaborate.
But you have to tell me I'm doing this collaboration, Heather, you know, or send me an email or whatever, right?
Right.
Otherwise, I might not see it, but I try.
Well, thank you so much for being here. So cool to get your input on different thing and different things you can save. It was cool to see all the herbs you were showing. I liked the
Oh yeah,
the
the visual.
yes, that's what I mean. Jen Bobby Nook has a question for you. Is there a book you recommend on freeze drying? We just break really hard.
Well, when I got mine, it came with, and I don't know if they all come with, but mine came with a book in it that has.
Yes, we got one.
You didn't get one. You guys got
But
one.
Lori
So-
didn't get one.
If you,
I wonder
Yeah.
if it's because I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't ship them to Canada.
They're prejudiced against
so
those
I don't
Canadians.
know. I don't know what other books would be reliable. I haven't dove into that yet.
Well, it sounds amazing. And this has been a lot of fun. Thank you for being here with us.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was chatty, nice.
And the
I hope
girls
that I
are
shared something that somebody benefited from a little bit.
me. I
Yeah.
certainly have. I know there's a lot of other people in here too.
Yes.
Heather, we're going to be up in your neck of the woods come August. So
I know.
hopefully-
Actually, August. I need to write it down. August what?
well, it's going to be probably around yeah, it'll be mid-August. I can't tell you exactly what day, but sometime around
I'll ask
mid-August.
Jerry because I think they're coming down a day or two before.
Mhm.
So I was going to try to see if we might be able to take a day trip and maybe meet everybody up for lunch or something.
Sounds like a ton of fun.
That's
the
kind of what
cruise.
I'm hoping.
We sail on
Yep.
the 24th, August 24th.
Okay.
But we'll be in Seattle on the 22nd.
Yeah, 2 days before.
22nd, and I think is that a Friday, the 22nd, or is the 23rd?
Yes.
I have no
Yeah.
idea.
Friday, it's a Friday. So we'll do Friday and Saturday. We sail
I
on
think
Sunday.
that's what Jerry was saying is the Fridays when something. I'll have to check in with them
For
and
most
see if I
people
can
are coming.
try to coordinate with all of you guys. Pull it down and at least a photo op or a hug,
There
Right.
you go.
Yeah.
right?
I thought about trying that too, but they're only in Victoria for 4 hours, and it's the middle of
Yeah.
the night.
Oh,
There,
yeah.
so
Might be
I'm
hard.
probably not going to make that trek.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Terry.
that would have been so cool though, Lori.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time.
But we're
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
coming until the
next time will be
Well,
easier.
one of these times we'll have to meet once you get moved here. I think it's
Yeah.
like 3.5 hour drive for me to
You're up at the north coast, right?
yeah, northwest.
I had somebody drive 65 miles today for me to load mulch in the back of their vehicle
Wow.
Really?
knows me on YouTube.
Oh, how nice.
We will be coming down the 101 when we move. So if you're
Okay,
close to the
and-
101,
Philbeck is saying that there's a lot. She just got a freeze dryer the other day, and she
Okay.
says there's lots of recipes on YouTube.
oh yes, there's tons of information and help for
Oh, yeah.
them on YouTube for sure.
And I've only done a couple of videos because I kind of feel bad for the ones that want a freeze
Yeah.
dryer.
Oh, don't know. I enjoy. I mean, yes, I am jealous, but I enjoy watching freeze dried videos because I'm going, man, I'm really gonna
Right.
If you're
Yeah.
on Facebook, there's several freeze drying groups that you can get in and get
cool.
recipes from them and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, poor little Kayla, her little eyes are getting just as dark.
Yeah,
as
I know.
She's ready for a
We're
nap.
almost done. We're almost done, Kayla.
It's
Yeah.
been wonderful.
Yep.
We do need to do the giveaway though, don't
Yeah, we're
we?
gonna do the
Yes.
giveaway right now.
We do.
So
Yep.
All right.
Kayla's about to fall out on us.
Give it away now.
That's right. Trey can hold her up.
This is the weekly.
Hey,
one.
my sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for the videos that came out the week of 25 to 31 this week, this is what we're going to be drawing for. Let's see what's going to be. I've already shuffled
A
it
lot
about
of
10 times.
videos, wasn't there? Nice.
Well, no, this is the prize wheel.
These are the
Oh,
We're gonna
prizes.
see,
okay.
we're gonna see what
Okay.
the prize is going to be first. Then we'll go to the
Gotcha.
video.
Who's it gonna
But,
be? Who's it gonna be for $25 million? Oh,
Bacon flavored toothpaste.
it's for freeze fryer.
Oh,
Four
potato
bags.
grow
Ooh.
bag.
Oh, these are
Nice.
the potato grow bags. Means they open up from the side. So we'll show that real quick.
Ooh,
They have peekaboo holes.
How about
Oh,
that?
Yeah.
Wait, I'll show you.
Just a
Hold
little
on.
peekaboo hose.
Great idea.
Okay, that's what we're playing for. Okay, so the week update videos. We had 10 of them this week. So if you submitted a video that was 3 minutes or longer, you're on this wheel. If you submitted a short, those go on the shorts wheel, which we draw at the end of the month.
end of the month.
I don't know if you want to reiterate
Okay.
how
Yes.
to hashtag, and so you'll be able to see all the videos.
Yeah. So the one thing you need to do, make sure on your when you do your videos, make sure on your description or in the title that you put hashtag Survival Seeds 2025.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hashtag Survival Seeds 2025. If you want me to be able to see it and find it, or tag us on our email.
And Bob, we need to see that video. Huh?
Okay. If you don't put that in there, we may not find your videos because I searched like in 3 or 4 different places. And it's easier if you put hashtag Survival Seeds 2025
Yeah.
somewhere in your title. Okay, here we go. We got 10 this week. So here we go. And this is for the potato bags. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom.
Oh,
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Oh, look at there.
Yay.
congratulations.
Congratulations. But you know what? Let me show you. Let me see. Look, this is her garden, guys. I mean,
No,
this is
not
Pinterest,
that.
right? She's got a Pinterest garden.
Oh my gosh.
Gorgeous.
Kathy and Brian.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Look, they even got a really nice sign there on it. Who does that?
That's beautiful.
I mean, this is
Nice.
top notch. I'm telling you, she's got an awesome looking
Gorgeous.
garden, awesome hoop
is.
house.
Oh, I love your hoop house.
And look at that. I mean, seriously, you could sit on the floor and eat in there
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Tomatoes.
that are not Romas.
They're not wrong. They're romatoes.
Yeah, they're Romatas. You do need that,
Romatoes.
Lori.
See how thick the leaves are? That's not aroma.
Yeah.
That's a
Right.
surprise.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. So here it is. There's where she shows it right here. That's what it was. See?
Yeah.
That's
There's
not
where she's
Roma.
going to- she says,
Definitely not Roma.
I put her
Definitely
on
not
the
a-
feet in here.
It is a horticultural retreat there, Grace,
Yeah.
NYC.
Gorgeous, for sure.
Absolutely is. It's just beautiful. And congratulations.
I can
Yeah.
see one of those self-standing hammocks.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I mean, look, she's
Yeah,
got stuff growing
right?
on the hillside. So she's growing on the side of a hill, folks.
Yep.
Oh,
And,
okay.
That's so cool. Wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there she has some bulbs on her pumpkins. Those are her
Nice.
pumpkins. She's going to have them growing down the hill there because she didn't have room for them to be vining out a lot.
Mm.
And it's just
They'll
amazing.
cover that hill eventually. That'll look great.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
She was
That's
a
a
little
great
worried
idea.
about them to begin with, but
Be a little bit dangerous going up and down for them.
I'm telling you what. But you
Right.
look at that and you can see what a ton of work they have done and they have to continuously do a
How
ton of
many
work.
years
Yeah,
has it
and they
taken
just
them to
Dug
get
it
like-
out.
And
Yeah.
they just installed an automatic watering system for each one of the beds, so
Nice.
that they don't have to sit there and worry and pour each one. So they've done a lot of work to this garden, and
Well,
my hats off to them because they've put their heart, soul, and blood, sweat, and tears
They really
into
have.
into this garden. So I hope it produces a ton of fruit and vegetables for them.
It's
Me
beautiful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
gorgeous.
So I'm going to stop that now. If you guys want to see more about her garden, go check her out.
Resourceful.
Resourceful Living Homestead. That's Kathy and Brian. You
Congratulations.
will enjoy their videos. I guarantee it. So
Yes, thank you.
congratulations.
Yay.
You got potato sacks coming. Do you have any room for some potato sacks, Kathy?
Find a spot. She'll find
We
a
might
spot.
have plans for digging out a new area.
Yeah. Yay. That's good. I'm
She is
glad.
there. See,
Oh, there she is.
Yeah.
yeah, they're lucky. She won at Mid America something that I wanted to win, but she won it. It was
Everybody wanted to
it was
win.
a solar system. It was a off-grid
Power
solar system,
bank.
power bank. Oh my
Uh,
goodness,
Wow.
That's
she's one lucky,
Yeah.
unlucky kid.
Okay, it's been great, y'all. I appreciate everybody.
Yep. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Charles. Thank
Thank
you,
you all
Larry.
so
Thank you,
much.
Heather. Thank you, girls,
Yeah.
for popping in from
On
remotely
the road.
wherever you're at now.
Yeah.
We
Die
just
hard
crossed
troopers.
Yeah.
You are
All right.
troopers. Now you have officially done a live on the road. Well,
Yeah.
one of your many on the road, but on the road and when you had the flu. So
Yep.
Now
Yeah.
you need to sing that song on the road again.
yeah,
Good song I had.
she looks like she's going. I don't want to sing. I
Well,
just
girls, we know y'all are on the road, so y'all give everybody a hug for us, and
Yep.
love you guys, and we'll see y'all again next week. Thank you,
Yeah,
everyone.
Thank you so
Bye. Thank you guys.
Good night.
Heather, thank you for
Bye.
being here.